Welcome back to the DA Wrestling Podcast. It's your boys Doug and Andrew.
Uncle Andrew, what's up?
Uh, we are here. It's Friday night. We're gonna
After
talk.
SmackDown.
Yeah, we're gonna talk some SmackDown. It was actually like a wrestling heavy show. Another sellout, by the way. Um, their 19th consecutive in the States. They love to put that little asterisk there.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, 14,994 at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh tonight. But
Home of the
first,
Steelers.
home of the Penguins.
Home of the Pirates. Home of Britt Baker.
I was gonna come up with something and then I just lost it. Anyways, but before we get into that, I was just, kind of scrolling through X while we were waiting to do this.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were some cuts today.
Yes. You kind of informed me before we came on the air here.
Yep. And so from what I've been able to gather,
Yep.
it's Zion Quinn, Xia Li, and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, it
So,
must
so
just
far.
happen then.
Yeah, like I think the tweet I saw at like 10:37 was like 45 minutes prior. So it was like just after SmackDown.
Well, in all fairness, all weren't doing much. Xia Li was actually on main event today after SmackDown, so I guess it definitely happened probably within the past hour.
Couple of days.
Yeah, so to be honest, a lot of these guys weren't being used. Jin was probably the most shocking out of all because it's like the second or third time now he's been released.
Well, so what's weird is like, so Jinder got a cameo from my cat. So Jinder starts off 2024 with that segment with The Rock.
Yep.
Talks himself into a title match with Seth Rollins.
Yep.
To which Seth Rollins, and we'll get to him in a minute, hurts himself. And then, yeah, just kind of did a whole lot of nothing. Well, he had that back and forth about Hook and AEW and Tony Khan.
Well, he was also doing stuff within the sheer for a little bit, but that
But
kind
he's
of
been
just
their he's
does.
been their manager off and on for a
Yeah, it
while.
hasn't really gone anywhere though. Unfortunately, I actually really like into sheer. I just don't know why they're not being pushed. Maybe with the new tag team the way they have it
Million dollar
now.
million dollar arm, baby.
Maybe with the whole stuff coming up too, because they're heavily advertised on
I don't
this
know
week. This
how
week
I
coming up.
do not know how they have not like done something with that. The fact that there is a there's a literal movie made about Veer Mahan.
Or this baseball, not wrestling.
Doesn't matter.
Time matters.
Like literally, this dude has a movie made about him by Disney
Still,
with Kevin fucking Costner.
still.
Anyways, so I mean, we'll see where they end up. I think they all have 90-day non-competes.
Uh, Probably. To be honest, I don't know why they would do 90-day completes. I mean, 90-day compete clauses. Just be honest. Jinder's probably just gonna just retire. Xia Li
Yeah.
will probably just go off and do whatever she wants to do. And as far as the other one goes, he wasn't doing much anyway. He he was doing well in NXT, and then just nothing happened after that. He was about that
Honestly,
storyline in NXT with what the hell's her name? Alexa Lopez for a little bit.
yeah,
That
but
was
like
last year though.
all listen, I'll be honest, all I remember about Zion Quinn is those really weird vignettes that he did with Xia Li.
No, no.
Um,
That's Bulldog. That's someone different.
oh, that's someone different.
Yeah.
Okay, then never mind. So what I remember him for is getting absolutely run over by Braun Breaker about a month ago.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on to Seth Rollins.
Yes,
So
let's
it
talk about Seth.
so on a Irish television station today.
Oh, Irish.
Yes, I guess. Well, I mean, Raw's in the middle of their European tour,
They are actually
um,
right now.
uh, which is why we got a video message from Cody Rhodes
on
on
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
But Becky Lynch revealed that Seth Rollins actually had surgery on Tuesday to repair that torn meniscus that he suffered against Jinder Mahal.
Hmm.
And my God, that guy, when you put that into context and what he was able to do, WrestleMania, the 45-minute tag match,
Yeah.
even like a 10-minute match with Drew.
Yeah.
Um, and then getting involved in the main event.
It's
Like
amazing. It's amazing what a cortisone shot can do.
I bet you that's
Literally,
exactly how he got through it.
100% it is.
As somebody who has taken a cortisone shot,
Yeah,
yep,
100%. He took probably two.
that shit works like steroids. I promise
Yep,
you.
basically, yeah.
Um, but honestly, he's out. They're saying about 9 months, so we may not see Rollins till even Survivor Series.
Maybe longer. All
Oh,
depends.
actually, 9 months from now, we're looking at the Royal Rumble.
There's your number. Between him or Punk, one of those guys is your number 30, number one.
Oh, Punk will be back long before that.
Yeah. So
Punk will
probably
be
number 30.
Punk will be back by the summer.
So he's your number 30. There's your CM Punk being champion. There's your CM Punk versus Seth Rollins at Mania next year.
For sure. And
There
you
it
know,
is.
honestly,
Send it here first.
like a salute to you, Seth Rollins.
Oh, you are Seth freaking Rollins.
Like, I mean, a salute to him. I mean, because I wonder what would have happened if like he couldn't go. Because Punk goes down. They pivot to Drew.
If he couldn't go, I think they literally I think Jinder takes that title off him
Oh God.
like the week later, and then Jinder loses that title to, let's say, Drew. And then Drew probably holds it
Actually,
through Mania.
to be honest, if he couldn't go, they probably would have pulled the trigger on Damian Priest earlier.
Yeah, that could be it too. Yeah,
I think that's
which
a
would
very real
which then would have led to actually Priest versus
McIntyre.
McIntyre at Mania.
Yep.
So yeah, so
But
that would make sense. But let
also that completely blows up. Like if Seth couldn't go after the knee injury, he like that tag match probably doesn't happen. Like who else do you have with Cody in that spot?
you probably ditch the Jimmy versus Jay match. You have Jay and Cody versus The Rock and Roman.
Yeah, possibly.
You probably just
Um,
that'd make the only must that would be the only make the most sense. Or you do Sammy and Cody versus The Rock and Roman.
yeah. But yeah, that I mean that kind of does it for the news.
That's not
Uh,
much the news, not really much of a news day to be honest. Yeah.
yeah,
But news is news.
yeah, exactly.
Uh, but
Um,
let's get into SmackDown.
right. So SmackDown opens up with the number one contenders match, LA Knight and AJ Styles.
Which we called last week of Styles getting his win back. We called it
Styles got the win back.
exactly, and it's honestly the best possibility right now.
Honestly, I like the way he did it because he almost beat LA Knight clean,
Yep,
but
he poked him in the eye. Yeah,
he little thumb to the eye before he hit the forearm to set up the phenomenal forearm.
yeah,
But yeah, so AJ and Cody in France in what, 2 weeks?
yeah. 2 weeks actually, 2 weeks from the day.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that, and that's gonna be a good match. Like Cody Burke. Now it says the first time ever. Now I'm assuming that's first time ever in WWE. I don't know if Cody and Styles have ever actually wrestled outside of WWE. I'm thinking
No,
they did. They did it. They
no,
never did it in New Japan.
no. So it's funny because you would think there might be a slight overlap there.
Yeah, because I know it definitely would never have been a TNA because
There,
Styles was already in WWE when he would
there
sign with Cody was there.
isn't. There isn't an overlap because AJ came into WWE about 3 months before Cody left.
Oh, was it 3 months before Cody left?
So, because I remember this as WrestleMania 32 was Jericho and AJ, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Stardust was in the Intercontinental title ladder match
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
where Zack Ryder won it.
Yeah. So I never met. So this is actually interesting.
Yeah. So no, they actually never went one on one.
So this should be a good match, actually.
I'm very much looking forward to it, and I
I
think
think
it's
it's
a
gonna be great
killer. I think it's a killer main event
for
for
France.
France. Yeah.
100%, absolutely. Like, like it's AJ Styles number one. So
Yeah.
there's your first indication that's gonna probably be a good match,
Hmm.
right? There's Cody, who's probably the top guy right now in the industry because Roman's out. That's he's probably the top guy,
Oh yeah, easy.
right? It's going to be a good match. It's going to be a really good match and good match for Backlash too. And you don't have to, it doesn't have to be much to do it either. It's going to be a very good match. Happy with it. Not
Yep.
but Nelly Knight goes from here. Well, I'm sure he'll get a title shot somewhere down the line against Cody. I'm
I don't know.
assuming.
He's really kind of cooled off. I may almost have him be the guy that beats Logan Paul. Try to heat him
I
back up.
I would be okay with that. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
upset with that at all.
Well,
I
see,
completely be okay with that.
so here's the thing about LA Knight. Like, usually your prototypical guy in WWE, right?
Mhm.
Unless they're already a mega name
Yeah.
coming in. Okay. So like LA Knight's kind of like on the mid tier of names when he came into WWE.
Yeah, people more or less knew him as Eli Drake. So
Yeah, exactly. Right. So he, usually when you see that type of progression, it'll be like, okay, tag team titles, and then he'll go up to, he'll win the mid card title, and then he'll challenge for the big belt. But his rise was so
yeah,
like instead of this, it was like you.
that's kind of the case though too, where sometimes the title makes the guy, but in this case, the guy would probably make the title more so. I think they're trying to get the titles not people who make somebody, right? I think he
Yeah,
doesn't really need the title to make him. He already is made enough as it is.
I agree.
It's kind of like
Kevin Owens.
Roddy Piper said it best with about Kurt Hennig.
Mm,
He goes, Kurt Hennig never needed the title. He made the title.
neither did Roddy.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, it's just sometimes some guys make the title and some guys do not. It all depends on the person.
Yeah.
So,
So next up was Triple H basically doing the same segment he did on Raw.
yeah, let's talk about this because I want to say how happy I am how they look.
So to me, my immediate thought with these new WWE tag team titles
Okay?
and them going back to the World Tag Team Championships on
Mhm.
Raw, it reminds me of 2002.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said too because they showed a
And
picture on X
the
about it.
belt design for the WWE tag titles are very reminiscent of the original WWE tag team titles.
The
Not
ones
like
that Axel
not like-
Smash held.
no, not really. I'm talking about like the SmackDown ones that came out,
Oh,
like
that's what you mean.
the Los Guerreros ones, the Team Angle ones.
Well, those ones too are also kind of like a reminiscent of the ones that Axel Slash Heart
Yeah,
Foundations held, right?
yeah.
They're just well, I guess like the gold or something that is a little different on it, but it's reminiscent, but all the same thing. I like where they went with this.
Yep.
I'm quite happy with it. To me, that it reminds me of the tag titles that I grew up with, and even in the 2000s, early 2000s. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this. They look
So
great.
actually, like one more since we're on the subject of titles,
Yeah.
um, they announced this week that they've dropped Universal from
Yes, I noticed that.
Cody Rhodes' championship. He is now the undisputed WWE champion.
Yeah,
Instead of the undisputed WWE Universal champion.
yeah,
So after what, 8 years?
yeah.
After 8 years, the Universal title is retired. Who was your favorite Universal champion?
Well, it's probably Roman.
It's like that's a rhetorical question.
Well, Brock was fun. But it's pretty much Roman, right? I mean, Kevin
It's
held it. Kevin held it. Rob Goldberg held it. Finn first with the first one. So Finn never reclaimed that title.
oh, he didn't.
That sucks for him.
No, because he got back from that he got back from the shoulder injury,
Yeah.
and they put him in the Intercontinental title picture.
Yeah, well, I was a Vince McMahon thing. That because Vince is stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, following the introduction of the new tag team titles, uh, so go let into because they're being so snarky, the awesome down under or A Town down under. There was a fatal a four-way title match, tag team title match for this, featuring Legado del Fantasma, New Cash Republic, AOP, and the Street Profits.
Yeah.
Uh, really good match, very long.
Yeah. But some crazy spots.
Oh yeah, especially the
Like,
part where the big strong boy put Akam in an airplane.
Jesus Christ, the strength on him, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
big strong boy.
but also like the one that kind of blew my mind is like kind of reminiscent of the WrestleMania spot,
Yeah,
except they weren't so high up, but Bate and Dunn doing moonsaults off the turnbuckle,
yeah,
but at the same time, here comes Ford leaping over the post
yeah,
to take out AOP,
yeah,
which was verbatim what happened in both their matches at WrestleMania.
yeah.
uh,
Uh, I'm happy with the Profits winning that match.
yeah, I'm
And
good with it.
and to be honest with you, I don't want to like
I don't think Profits are winning though.
I don't think they're gonna win. I kind of want them to win, but I could see A Town down under being transitional champions,
To
literally.
who though? Like who's the
To the
next big?
Street, I think Street Profits are gonna. Street Profits are gonna. I think they hold it for a while.
No, I mean they've been champions a few times before, so it's like, um, I mean they've been champions a few times before, so it's like that's not really making someone new. I think if anybody beats A Town Down Under, it's probably New Catch Republic
Or AOP.
or well AOP's
Actually, you
pull.
know what? I could see A Town Down Under winning this match, then
Yeah,
getting to AOP, then getting dismantled by AOP, and AOP going on a nice title reign, then losing those titles to New Catch Republic.
yeah, but do you really want heels taking the title off heels?
I
Think
don't
you're
care. I
with your
don't
wrestling
care.
logic.
I don't care.
Wrestling,
I've never cared.
fair enough.
To me if it's best for business, best. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it would be a good shot. Actually, honestly, if, like, you know, if you want what's best for that Final Testament group, you have you have AOP dismantle Theory and Waller,
Yeah,
and then you have Cross go and dismantle Logan Paul,
which would be
and
great.
then there you go. Like that establishes that group because
Yeah.
all they've really done has been picking on Bobby Lashley and the Profits.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of it at this point there. It's kind of a dead it was kind of a dead story to begin with.
Yeah. So
Uh
and like that's the thing. Like I mean, I think Karrion Cross can be a guy here,
I think
but
Karrion Cross is a great guy. I just don't think I don't know if WWE sees anything really in him.
yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's like, I think this is kind of like the last chance prove it thing for Cross,
Yeah.
where it's like if we can't make it work with this, like I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I say send him back. You know what? Don't be surprised because this week, also on Raw, before you get any further too, big pop straight out this week for SmackDown going to the draft next week.
Mm.
So with the draft being involved next week, you do have a lot of SmackDown, Raw, and NXT involved. I wouldn't be surprised if you move Cross down to NXT.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I think to me that's one of the most logical place for him. He had the best success
And
in
then
NXT.
and then that's the thing because of his pedigree of being a former two-time, three-time NXT champion.
Yeah, I think 2 times.
Um, like he's immediately a player in that title picture with Ilya Dragunov,
Yeah, I think that
which
match would be good.
which honestly I expect Dragunov to get drafted next week.
The way they showed him on Raw, absolutely.
Yeah, I expect Dragunov to be drafted.
And to be honest, if you had Cross go down there, take the title off Dragunov, that gives you a viable person to down in NXT for people to go after.
Yeah, and that's the thing, the smaller, more controlled environment of NXT.
Yeah,
And that's fair.
yeah.
I mean,
After
I mean, to be fair, it's done wonders for Baron Corbin.
absolutely yes.
It's completely rehab.
Even Dijak.
It's completely rehab both of them.
Yeah. So it's quite a good thing actually. I think NXT is a good place to put some of these guys too, because your main roster is kind of crowded to begin with. You have people too many people fighting for TV time. So if you put
Yeah.
them on NXT, because a lot of that's developmental anyway. A lot of those guys on developmental aren't exactly ready to probably go on TV. At least that gives you kind of like a few columns of people you can use
So,
on NXT.
right. So usually there's like a dark horse pick every draft out of NXT.
Yeah.
Last year it was Odyssey Jones.
Okay.
We never heard of him again.
Yeah. No.
Um, who do you think is like the dark horse guy that comes out of NXT
On
in
the
the
Raw,
draft onto Raw or SmackDown?
I know Dragonov's probably going to go. I know Perez is probably going to go. I can see a good possibility of Valkyria coming up,
Ooh,
possibly to Raw.
that's a good pick.
Valkyria would
I
be surprised.
I would say my dark horse is probably Tony D'Angelo.
On the men's side, yeah, probably, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Tony D'Angelo.
I can see Lyra coming up. I can see Tony D coming up. Both have spent. I mean, Lyra's kind of like doesn't really need to come up, but I think for the women's division wise up on Raw, I think you can use her for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, I think the women's division on SmackDown is way stronger than the women's division on Raw. So I think if you put her on Raw, you're gonna have, especially if Becky's gonna be out for a while.
And especially Rhea's hurt too.
Yeah, Rhea's hurt. Becky's out for a while.
Well, they say that, but
Well,
she's like
she's
literally
in
she's
Europe.
literally doing the European tour right now.
Yeah, but she's in Europe and she might not come back, right? I mean, you know what? We'll see what happens on the draft next week on SmackDown because that's when it starts. After that, before we get into the Carlito Escobar match, the Bloodline comes out. Now we saw the Bloodline
Oh
earlier
my
today.
God. Okay.
Earlier today,
I've been waiting to talk about
yeah,
this.
Bloodline comes in earlier today, right? And Solo seems to be he's dressed to the nines. He's looking like a boss,
Yep.
right? Sam with Tama Tonga there, and they ask, "Where's Kevin Owens?"
Yep. And
Well, they found Kevin.
Heyman's scared shitless of Solo.
Yeah, well, Tama Tonga too. Like that man's just a savage.
And I love it
Oh yeah, he's just great.
because guess what? Guess what? This is the Tama Tonga that everybody got to see in Japan.
Yeah,
This dude is a savage.
yeah,
And it gets better because, after the tag match,
yeah.
uh they still haven't found Kevin Owens yet.
Nope.
And so Solo and Heyman go out to the ring.
Yeah,
We got a "We Want Roman" chant
yeah. Saw that.
from
It's
this
kind of funny.
Pittsburgh audience. And it's funny because Solo, as they were chanting that, said, "Oh, now you want Roman."
Yeah. Well, he's not. He tried to talk. They wouldn't let him talk.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
very, very, very reminiscent of Dominic Mysterio.
So he goes to introduce Tama Tonga as the new Bloodline member, but Kevin Owens gets thrown out of the entranceway
Just
by
busted open.
the aforementioned Tama Tonga. It took me a minute because of the lighting to see
Yeah.
the gash on Owens' head.
Oh yeah.
Um, so it ends up like Owens tries to fight back, but like
Yeah.
they just overwhelm him
Yeah.
and they end up leaving. And then we come back from break
Yeah.
and Heyman's in the parking lot with Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
And they pan over to this gruesome T-bone accident.
Yeah.
Um, and all this explains that one of the rental cars belongs to Kevin Owens,
Yeah, one
and
belongs to Tama Tonga.
the other one belongs to Tama Tonga. And
Yep.
then basically threatens Heyman that if anything like that happens next week or whatever, then there's going to be worse consequences than losing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought for sure he was going to like book Tama Tonga in a match or some shit.
That's kind of thought he was going with that too, but I was quite surprised they didn't. But I think they're gonna save Tama Tonga probably for Backlash.
I wonder how long it's going to take. And you know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe it's going to be like Owens and Tama Tonga in
That's
France. And
that's kind of my thought right now is Owens versus Tama Tonga. Hey, Owens, truth be
listen,
told, he doesn't care if he doesn't matter if he loses or not. He's gonna put in a hell of a match, and he's a good person to put Tama
and
Tonga
that's what I'm
over.
saying. That's what I'm saying. This is where you establish Tama Tonga as a serious player and
Yeah,
just have him fucking destroy Kevin Owens.
yeah.
Uh, although I'm curious to hear what the motive of going back after Kevin Owens is. The only thing I can think of is he's kind of been a thorn in the bloodline side basically since day one.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I still think I can see that too. Or I think it's more or less because of Kevin Owens kind of shitting on Solo because he was walking into Cody Rhodes' change room last Friday on SmackDown.
Oh,
That's
that's
precisely why.
right, right.
So that's probably where that comes from. But he's also setting a tone with the new bloodline, saying we're not going to take this type of shit, and we're going to do. It's almost like they're trying to pull that bloodline into almost like a Bullet Club, but not a Bullet Club.
Yeah, just wait for Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
I don't think it's going to happen at Backlash. I think you're looking more Money in the Bank, maybe,
Mm,
of seeing Jacob Fatu.
maybe.
Um, one of those things where, like Owens and whoever get the upper hand on Solo and Tama, and here comes Jacob Fatu to fuck kill him.
Oh yeah.
And after the attack last week, it looks like Jimmy's being written off.
Yeah, for a little bit at least.
Jimmy's been written off for a bit.
Yeah.
So,
This could be
um,
interesting.
yeah.
So after that, we get the Carlito versus Escobar. They talk about again like how just before WrestleMania, Johnny Lee was supposed to tag with Rey Mysterio. Then all of a sudden gets hurt, and they're still blaming LWO is still blaming Escobar and Legardo. And Legardo saying we never did a thing, we never did. And I
It's
think
going to be
of
revealed that it was Carlito.
course it was. It's 100% Carlito. 100% it's Carlito. But decent match was kind of okay. Escobar won. Nothing really crazy went on here. It wasn't. Yeah, how they're going to reveal this is interesting to me. I don't know how they're going to reveal it, but I'm sure it's going to be something. Hopefully, it's not stupid.
No, because Dragon Lee's going to probably come back in a couple of weeks,
Yeah,
maybe even next week. He's going to come back and he's going to be like, no, it wasn't Santos. It was Carlito.
yeah, something silly.
And then, like, here's the footage.
Yeah,
Um,
and just before the main event, we go up to the cameras into the special booths there. We have Damage Control one booth, and then Jade and uh, Bianca Belair show up in the other booth right beside. They both decide to watch the main event, Naomi versus Bayley. Uh, good
fine
match.
match
Good match. Yeah.
until Tiffany Stratton decided we're
Tiffy
done
time.
here.
Tiffy
Yep.
time.
She decided that we were done here for the night,
Yeah.
and she just wrecked both of them,
Yep.
dropped the prettiest moonsault ever on both of them
Yep.
at the same time. And yeah, we go off the air with Tiffy.
That's kind of the best way to actually end this, to be honest with you, because nobody didn't need to lose. Anything like that. Plus, it sets up probably a triple threat match for the title at Backlash. I think it's gonna be Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi versus Bayley for that title. Probably at
Possible.
Backlash.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be
Yeah.
my guess right now. I mean, it's like, why else would you have her interfere like that?
Well, yeah, no, Tiffany Stratton. I honestly think Tiffany Stratton is the next women's champion.
I don't think she was it yet. I think she wins it probably at Money. I think she wins the Money in the Bank. And I think she cashes in. I think that's how she wins it.
I think that's the perfect route for that type of character too.
Yeah, because it's a very similar to like Carmella years ago.
Yep,
Very similar, right?
100%. I'm I'm totally with you on this.
Yeah.
Um,
So I could see that being the
so
possibility.
our very early women's Money in the Bank prediction is Tiffany
Tiffany
Stratton.
Stratton. Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a good way to establish her, number one, as a number as
Who's your very early men's Money in the Bank winner?
hmm, it's a good question.
Think about who it would make sense on though.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say who would make sense on. It's kind of interesting.
I think it would make sense on a guy like Braun Breaker.
Or Dragunov.
Yeah, Dragunov works too.
I could see Dragunov. Depends on who they want to establish as the next
Well, and that's the thing.
guy, right?
If you want to strap the rocket to somebody, give them the briefcase.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yes, it failed miserably with Austin Theory, but the problem is he was attached to Vince.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to treat Austin Theory now. I mean, they've kind of been shitting on him for the past like year since Vince left.
Uh, yes and no. I mean, I think they're like basically start from scratch.
Yeah.
Like, let's start from scratch. And I think Austin Theory's a hell of a performer, dude. Like,
And he's not bad at all. He's,
no,
you know, but I think,
I think he can go just as well as anybody on the roster.
yeah, he
Uh,
just needs the right guy. And like even John wasn't,
I don't even think he needs the right guy. I mean, yeah, the match with John Cena is what it was. But at the same time, what are you really expecting from 45-year-old John Cena?
well, they're saying John could do one more run.
John thinks he can do one more run.
He probably could. It probably be a long run.
Well, you know what? I think, you know, if he probably could if he kind of does the training camp thing like The Rock did,
Hmm.
or like Taker did at the back half of his career,
Yeah.
where he gets himself back into ring shape before he goes out.
Yeah. By the way, did you see all the people fucking shitting on Sheamus and how he looked after Raw?
Yeah, even he himself kind of quote
Yeah, I saw that.
you know, he was like, look, okay, like, you know, get your jokes out of the way.
Yeah.
He's like, get your jokes out of the way.
He's also what,
Uh,
46, 47?
yeah, he's, and that's the thing, right? So he even said, he's like, okay, well, when we're done fat shaming, here's what happened. Like, I was aiming to come back at the draft. They needed me a couple weeks prior.
And here's the thing, though, too.
Mm-hmm,
He's 46 years old. And
mm-hmm.
a newsflash to a lot of people out there, right? Comment down below and all those things if you like it, don't whatever you want to say, but he looks better than most of you at 46. I looks better than most of you that who are at 30. Hate to break it to a lot of you guys, you know,
And he just went through,
neck surgery.
I don't know if he had surgery, but yeah, no, he was just
Yeah,
dealing with a neck injury.
yeah.
Like,
So I mean, let's not crap on the guy for it. He still looks better than a lot of people
mm-hmm.
who are even in their 20s and 30s. So shut up.
Well, and again, if you spend 5 seconds to go watch his workout channel,
Oh, it's great. It's an awesome show, actually.
I love it. I
I
love it.
like. It was on for a while, then I realized they saw he got injured, and now he just doesn't do it right now. So it's a good channel, though.
I bet
He has
you
me ideas when I'm at the gym.
I I bet you that those videos return now that he's back.
It's giving me a lot of ideas when I'm at the gym to do stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like changes my ideas on things.
So overall, what'd you think of SmackDown?
SmackDown was probably about
Oh, we
7
did
out.
miss we missed one thing.
What did we miss?
We missed the video that Cody Rhodes sent in from the UK.
That's right. Cody Rhodes from the
Um,
O2 Arena.
yep, in London. And yeah, basically, you know, congratulations, AJ Styles. It's
Yep.
going to be a first time ever, you know, looking forward to it,
Yep.
whatever. And I'm assuming we're going to get a promo battle between the two at the draft next week.
Exactly. Draft next week. So I'm expecting the draft next week. The one thing too, just really quick draft preview here at the end of SmackDown for ourselves here. I'm expecting champions all to stay where they are, considering they just unveiled new titles. Now I can see The only times I can see moving are the U.S. title and the IC title, but I don't see that happening either, considering all the titles on Raw basically look the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I don't think the champions are gonna move.
no,
I think, you might see probably like Lashley go back over to Raw. You could see I could see
now
like
Lashley go over with the Street Profits as well, or is he just gonna
it
by
depends because
himself?
they created that rule a couple of years ago where you can take one member of a faction
Yeah.
or you could take all of them.
Mhm.
Like
Well,
they did that to break up the New Day.
yeah, I think Judgment Day stays where they are on Raw. They're fine, especially with Damian Priest as the
Well,
champion.
yeah, I don't see them going anywhere. I could see I could see possibly Drew and Punk getting moved back to SmackDown.
I can see that, and I can also see I can see Mommy not being drafted at all, considering she's injured, then coming back
I
and
could
being like
see
a free agent.
I could see LA Knight going to Monday
Yeah,
Night Raw.
that I can see for sure. I think it's time. He's been on SmackDown since he debuted, so I think it's time for him to move to
Now
Raw.
we were talking about Karrion Cross, but you know, what is someone on the Raw roster that you think might get drafted to NXT?
Hmm, good question.
Right?
Who haven't we seen in a while? Who have we not seen in a while? That's a good question.
Like let's just kind of go process of elimination, right? So like
Yeah,
Ricochet's been killing it, so he's not going down there.
he still go down though.
You could do it to get Imperium away from
Gunther,
Gunther.
Period, probably best to go down there. Uh, Otis possibly down there,
Otis could go down there.
right?
I think Maxine Dupree can go
Could
down
go down
there.
there. I don't think DIY would go.
No,
Um,
no, because I think like again, I mentioned this in Wednesday's video. Um, you know, uh, everyone's kind of got a story these days, right?
yeah, it's kind of
DI,
it's very attitude era driven where everyone has a story going on.
DIY story ends with them winning the tag titles.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who goes. I think it's gonna be very interesting to see who goes on draft days for Raw, for SmackDown and Raw.
They're high on Bronson Reed.
They're high on Bronson Reed. They are. I like what they're gonna do with Bronson Reed. I like Bronson Reed. I think he's a great character. I think he's a great wrestler. So I think it's gonna be great to see where he goes. I can see him being the next IC title champion somewhere in there.
Oh, I could see him squashing Sammy.
Yeah, I can totally see it
Um,
too.
yeah, I can't really think of like guys that are regularly on Raw that like kind of need a switch up. Like maybe,
It might be
and
a
not,
shocker.
and let me be clear, I don't think NXT is treated as much as a demotion anymore.
No, and I don't think it's been a demotion for a couple of years now, actually.
Right. And especially when you've seen what it's done for guys like Dijak, which I think he could come back up.
No, I kind of like the character he's at. I don't think that character would work so well on WWE, on Raw or SmackDown. I think it works very well, and it works well as like a stepping stone or a gatekeeper character in like look what a different Dragunov. Dragunov came into NXT.
Do we
One of
see
his first
Corbin?
feuds he
Do we see
had.
Corbin come back up?
No, I think Corbin stays in NXT. I think Corbin needs to stay in NXT.
The only place I could see Corbin coming back up to is SmackDown to join Braun Breaker. And you run
Yeah, yeah, I can see
and
that
you
too.
and you run that tag team on the main roster because they got over huge down in NXT
If they're gonna do that, then I can see that for sure.
the last 3 months. Like they've been just killer.
Well,
And they've been
then
putting on bangers with everybody.
well, if you bring up the SmackDown, then there's your SmackDown Tag Team Champions over A Town Down Under.
Yeah, I agree.
That's your tag team champions.
Yep.
Guaranteed, 100%. Then they run
On
the
the
titles.
Yeah.
They have Corbin turn on Braun, make him an ultra baby face, and they establish Braun Breaker, and there's your next world champion or U.S. title champion down the line.
Read my mind.
Yeah. So
And to
there
be
you go.
honest, I could see a way where like this way you could actually have Baron Corbin win Money in the Bank again,
Yep.
and this time he like cashes in on. The thing is, it's like this new chapter with Cody is gonna go another year. Like
They're
he's
saying
got,
Cody's gonna hold that title for a year, guaranteed.
but
At least a
he
year.
could, yeah, see, yeah, I don't. Corbin doesn't make sense.
No.
And Braun beating Corbin, maybe for the US title, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see.
I could see
Yeah,
that.
U.S.
Okay.
title I can see. Anyway, that is a SmackDown review. That is also some news and some draft predictions from us here on the Unexpectedly. Doug, you can feel free to take us out of here.
Thank you all for listening. Uh, once again, want to say thank you for 1,000 downloads. And it's just we keep on plugging along.
Yeah,
Uh,
we are plugging along, folks.
be sure to join us early next week. We'll have our Raw review. Well, hopefully, um, we will. We had to kind of cut it this week, but things happen.
Things happen in life, folks.
Yeah. And so hopefully we'll be early next week, if not, probably another midweek video.
You got a news. You got a news video. In fact, the news videos we might try to do semi regular last week, right? Especially if there's a lot of news going on in the world of wrestling, because sometimes there's just not a
100%.
lot of
Yeah.
news. I mean, I don't know how woke culture does it, but like this come up with shit probably half the time, or I don't know, but whatever.
And they just do like individual videos on each story. That's how
Yeah,
they do
so
it.
fair enough.
But anyways, um, until then, you can catch us over on YouTube at the Wrestling Podcast. You can catch us over on Spotify. Rate us, leave comments. You know, like I said in the last episode, if you guys comment and Andrew and I actually see it, then we'll shout you out. Ask us questions, leave a comment, and maybe you'll hear your name in the next episode. And go follow us on socials. DA Sports Podcast on Instagram, DA Sports Pod on X. He is a Priscilla 1982 on Instagram. Andrew DA Sports on TikTok. I am D Lines 1991 on X, and we'll catch you down the road.
Final thought: NHL playoffs start this weekend, Saturday, Leafs versus Boston in Boston. It's who you got. Who you got again? Boston or taking
Leafs
Leafs?
in 5.
I've heard Leafs in 6.
Leafs in 5. They're
Sounds
gonna shock.
interesting.
They're gonna shock everybody. Leafs in 5.
Fair enough. Anyway, have yourself a good night, everybody. Playoff start. AHL. Go. Watch it. Fun. Enjoyable.
Best trophy in sports.
Hardest one, too.